5 p.m., January 4th, 2024, in the council chambers at City Hall. We want to go around the room, Dennis, start with our...
Okay, I'm Dennis Pollock, member of the committee.
Ryan Austin, committee member.
Paul Vollert, Public Works Superintendent.
Joe Eichstead, city engineer.
Thank you. And with that, we'll get to item number 2, and that's to review the engineering and street department monthly reports. Start with engineering, or which one want to go first?
I can start out.
Okay,
Thank
Joe.
you. So for the month of December, a few things to highlight here. Degradation fees for this year. Actually, I've got an error there, but they topped out at almost $91,000 for the year. There's a big Alliant Energy project that was coming through town here just in the last month. They're just getting started, but there was a sizable amount of fees associated with their project. Again, those fees are applied to pavement maintenance projects throughout the city. For traffic, stop sign, yield sign requests, there was one stop yield control review at 7th Avenue and Hale Street. We've performed traffic counts there, and we'll look at that situation further here this month. In regards to other traffic studies, there's a request to allow right turn, no stop for westbound traffic on 2 Mile Avenue and 1st Street South. We've completed a traffic study for that. We're also looking at a similar situation on High Street at 4th Avenue as well. And I believe we'll be ready to bring those back to the committee in February for review and approval, or consideration for approval. Quick update on the signal grant project at West Grand and the Expressway. Those signals, of course, have been up and operational now since the end of November. There's still some punch list items there, but we're working through the rest of that, those issues, and the final closeout of that project and those items will be in spring. Moving on, we're still waiting on signal equipment, the spare cabinet that was ordered almost 15 months ago now. It's supposed to be in now in January, but considering ordering from another supplier at this point, especially if we get bumped again, to make sure that we've got something on hand if needed. For 2023 contracts, the sewer lining contract work is complete. All that activity occurred on 17th Avenue, south of West Grand Avenue, between Gaynor Avenue and West Grand. So that contract is being closed out as well. Preliminary surveys for 2024 and 2025 projects. All the survey, or all the projects listed there, all the surveys are complete. And then design for future projects, everything's moving along nicely at this point. We're preparing quantities and contracts to go out for bids middle of next week. And then we'll have schedule the bid opening for early February, and hope to have bids reviewed at the February Public Works Committee meeting. In addition, we've got a scheduled date of having all of our permit applications in for all of these projects by the end of January, so that we have approval by spring. Regarding grant projects, the 8th Street and Wood Avenue Highway Safety Improvement Grant, just a quick update there. We had requests for qualifications sent out mid-November. We received 2 of them back. Two consultants submitted their qualifications as to be reviewed as part of the selection process. I think originally we had sent 6 or 7 out to firms that we thought might be available and interested in this project. Like I said, we got 2 of them back, one from MSA and one from Strand. And it's a 3-party type agreement, so the DOT is involved in their qualification-based selection, so price isn't considered at this point, and then the DOT negotiates a price with the consultant, after the selection process. So Strand was awarded that project and then they're working with the DOT on negotiation of that contract. Additional notification on the predictive mobility grant for the rail notification project. I did reach out to the DOT planning supervisor, Jordan Kelby, in the last week or two, and got an update from him on the funding for that project, as we hadn't heard anything back from them for a while. I'll just briefly summarize the information that was provided back to me, but essentially the federal funding authorization timelines to obligate federal fiscal year 2023 funding, they were unable to meet those requirements. I don't know if that was the state DOT or the state itself, or if it was the federal government, but in any case, the department hopes to fund all remaining awarded carbon reduction program projects in fiscal year 2024. They expect additional federal funds once Congress at the federal level passes an appropriations bill. They would then submit federal funding plan to the Wisconsin Legislature Joint Finance Committee to further outline that allocation. And then it's likely the earliest they would see funding available would be in late February, early March, although he did note that it could take much longer than that, depending on when Congress takes action on that allocation of funds. I guess just one last item on the 1 Mile Creek permitting. We are continuing to move forward on the Chapter 30 permit, and we did hear comments back, although it appears that at this point in time, based on some concerns that the DNR has with some of the ecology impacts during the winter, that they would prohibit work occurring in winter until or unless the water levels drawn down in late fall, which would preclude us from doing work here this winter. It would have to be something either we do during some other construction methods outside of cold weather, or else we wait till next the following winter to do that and properly draw down the water levels that meet the permit requirements. In addition, the dam permit that we're trying to receive, they did reassign that to a different DNR staff member as of early December, and we're still waiting for communication from that new DNR reviewer on how to proceed with that permit. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Any questions, anybody?
Thank you. So the report is attached. Construction project, we have the materials ordered for the fence on Apricot Street on top of that retaining wall. That was ordered, I believe, a week and a half before the Christmas season or whatever, so hopefully that'll come here shortly. Otherwise, like I said earlier, or before, all the projects are completed except for Apricot has that one block to be paved, and then that whole project has to have the restoration. The black dirt is in, but we have to finish rake it and seed and mulch it. And then the same on Shorewood Terrace, that project has the black dirt in, just needs to be seeded and mulched. Our street maintenance activities then, we had crushed our own blacktop here the first part of December, last part of November, so that we have materials for shouldering materials in our alley construction and things like that. We also took some time and cleaned up our pit. We have contractors that are bringing in concrete to us, and we always request that we don't get concrete with steel in it. And we tend to still get a fair amount, and so we've had some accumulation over probably the last 3 or 4 years where it was starting to be in our way. So we took some time and broke that, took the steel out of it, and have that all cleaned up, and we're in really good shape now. This summer we had a request for some vision issues out at the East Side Industrial Park off of 48th Street. And so with it being slower here now, we cleared the right of way so that it's full width now on the east side of 48th Street, so that mostly semis coming out of Metalco can see to the north you know, cause they do still kind of encroach over center line when they come out of there. So it's way safer, got a lot of thumbs up and honks from semis leaving there and stuff like that on a daily basis, so. We have had some water main breaks that we've assisted Water and Light on here in the last month of December. While we were completing the PACER review of our streets, we noticed that over on Oak Street, years back, we sold right away of Oak Street to, I believe, Aspirus Doctors Clinic, and so we vacated some street right away there, and we moved the cul-de-sac back to the west. Right now, it was at the right of way of Highway 54. Well, we vacated that right away, about 200 feet of it, and we constructed it further to the west now. So we're all on city right of way now, and just have some paving and curb and gutter to clean up in the spring. We worked with engineering to do some investigation of a manhole that is deteriorating out on Highway 34. Trying to make sure that the as-built are the way that they were, so we had a couple days of that. We also were able to submit request proposals and then actually procure the materials, or majority of our materials, for the 2024 construction season. So that was, you know, normally at the end of or first part of the year, there's typically a price increase, so we were able to beat that and took delivery of some of that material as well. We then did our biannual cutting of the brush along the West River Bank, along the trails from Grand Avenue all the way down to the Bulls Creek Boat Landing. With the warm weather, we have been able to also do some catch basin maintenance that wasn't done during our regular season, as well as some manhole maintenance that needed to be done as well. Our paint and our sign shop, we got an audit here this fall of some railroad crossings, and we were able to update the advanced warning signs that were just barely out of spec or whatever, and meet those requirements that the railroad came up with. We also then have started to do our annual sign replacement of our stop signs and yield signs and any other regulatory signs that no longer meet the MUTCD requirement. So we have a good jump start on that as well. Our shop has been busy just kind of doing our standard maintenance. We have also calibrated our sanders, and did a thorough inspection of some of our plows that maybe not have been looked at as thoroughly. And found some deficiencies on some welds that were starting to crack and things like that, so we were able to get those fixed before it was a major failure or whatever. And then just a reminder that next week we will be back to garbage collection on the normal schedule. The last 2 weeks we've been behind a day because of the Christmas holiday and the New Year holiday. And then also Christmas tree pickup will be commenced on January 22nd through the 26th, so that second or the last full week of the month.
Thank you, Paul. Anybody have any comments or questions to ask? Okay. Hearing none, we can move on to item 3, and that's to review our referral list. And everybody has a copy of that, I think, so, oops.
And Tom, I did add that one, I guess, referral that came in via email that you had forwarded on to me regarding the overnight parking and general updates in chapter 27 of the parking ordinance.
Mm-hmm, yep. All right. Joe, I'd like to add one, I guess, and we've talked about it. I haven't turned anything in, so I guess if you want me to write it up, I will, but it's about the flashing yellow arrows on Washington Street and 54. And this is just to look at to see if we could do it, and then again, what the cost would be and where the money would come from, or if there's any grants for it or anything, being on a state highway. The other one I would like to look at would be the 8th Street and the expressway there, so. Anybody else? Anything? Okay,
Just one
Brian?
call out, West Grand and the expressway, the arrows there are coming on automatically on the
Yep.
east and west traffic travel?
Yep.
Is that supposed to be that way, or?
It is not supposed to be that way.
Okay.
That's one of the items that they have to,
Okay.
on the punch list here to come back with. They do have a temporary controller in there, still. It's not the final permanent controller. And so some of the nuances could be related to that, with the flashing yellow coming up when it shouldn't be. In addition, the cameras, there was a malfunction with the cameras at the startup, and they were going to replace the cameras, and I'm not sure that they did yet, which, if they haven't, it might be a vehicle detection issue too, so.
Okay. Well, I mean, right now they're, it's a green arrow when nobody's even waiting.
Yeah.
So, but you'll be addressing that, so more to come.
Yep.
Well, anything else on referrals? If not, we can go to item number 4, and that's to set our next meeting date. And if it meets with, is that it? Somebody have a question? Oh, good. Okay. The next meeting would be on Thursday, February 8th at 5 p.m. If that is okay with everybody for now. Again, if anything would come up, we'd notify everybody ahead of time, plenty of time to change something if we have to, so. With that, we're at item number 5, and that's to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. All those in favor respond by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, ayes have it. The meeting's adjourned at 5:16 p.m. Thank you.